I shouldn't say that if I was a vegetarian, that I go to tell people that eating meat is cruel. That is wrong. What you guys are doing is so wrong.
So, hi, my name is Shivam, and I would like to ask you, do you think of yourself as a cruel person or a compassionate person?
I would consider myself a compassionate person, yeah.
I think it depends on the people who's in front of me.
Okay.
Sometimes I think we are a mix of every character that we can point out.
I'm a compassionate person.
So, you're not a cruel person then?
I would say something in between. I'm not completely compassionate, but I'm not completely evil.
For the context of this discussion, I'll define cruelty. Cruelty is causing harm or suffering to someone intentionally without having concern for them. So, with that definition, do you think you are cruel?
No, I'm not. I don't think so.
Too specifically like that? No, I think I'm little too softy that way.
And since you are compassionate or at least you are anti cruelty, what do you have to say about animal cruelty?
Yeah, I am against it. Yes.
You are?
Yes.
I feel it's wrong because why you have to harm someone?
What do you think about animal cruelty?
That's really bad. Like animal cruelty is, it's been around for like many years, and I'm totally against it. I also want to go vegan. Like
I also want to go vegan.
Being a dog lover myself, I know you're not supposed to treat animals the way they are being treated now. So I'm totally against that. Animal cruelty is something that humans must understand.
Okay. And why are you against animal cruelty, if I may ask?
Of course, it doesn't make sense to hurt an animal, like take its skin. Would you like to see your skin peeled and made a jewelry out of it or an ornament? So of course I'm against it. It's
Good to know that you are not a cruel person, maybe compassionate or probably neutral, but not cruel for sure, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then would like to ask you, what do you think about animal cruelty?
Well, that's a vast subject and it's very subjective also.
Okay.
It depends on where you come from, your lifestyle, and of course, your eating habits.
Okay.
Animal cruelty, that's wrong, but I do eat non-veg food, so yeah.
And why do you want to go vegan? Just to stop animal cruelty on your behalf?
yes, because I really don't like when people are using them for social experiments or eating them. So animal cruelty is terrible on my part.
Don't care.
Humans just think they have the privilege to do anything and they can take the control over every animal around. They don't understand, they have feelings and they can't do as much as we do. So if you can't help them, don't hurt them.
Do you think you participate in animal cruelty in some way?
No, never. I love animals. Yes.
Do you consume non-vegetarian food?
Yeah.
By any chance, do you consume non-vegetarian food?
yes, I do.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yes, I know.
What do you think about hens?
Actually, some time back I stopped eating chicken because I felt it's wrong, because what if they do the same thing with dog or cow, because we tell we shouldn't eat cow, we Hindus believe we shouldn't eat cow. So it's the same way when they're animals, so we shouldn't eat. I stopped eating, but again, because I'm in the family and I'm forced to eat, they're like, no, how can you just stop eating and all those stuffs.
But when you are eating, do you agree that you are the direct cause of their cruelty?
Yeah.
So then you think you are cruel to the animals?
No, I don't think that's completely natural because animals eat animals and we eat animals and human beings, when we were in caveman times, we also ate animals. So I think it's a complete food chain, but I'm against the fact that we are using them for like we use ivory and for all that. That's what I'm against. But eating non-veg food, I'm not against that.
I don't have opinion about that because I'm not sure. At some point I think yes, but at some point I think no, because
Why do you think no?
we are humans. We have to eat some things like
We can eat vegetables, rice, lentils, dal and all of that.
some cravings for humans sometimes maybe.
Do you eat?
Yeah, I was eating, but I stopped eating.
Why did you stop?
I'm trying myself not to eat because I saw a documentary on what the health.
Oh, amazing, yeah.
So I every time I eat something, I get it harms our body. That's secondary, but we show the same love and affection to our animals and cats. But why don't we show that to hens or chickens or some other animals that we eat?
Also say from deer's perspective, lion eating the deer isn't great either. But from lion's perspective, it's fine.
Okay, that makes sense actually. That from
Any idea where you're putting up the screen?
no, but we are not drawing our moral values from the behavior of a lion.
Bro, the thing is, we are at some point there is some natural instinct, but as we have grown, as the evolution has put us, we have come up with a society where with some decency that you and I understand certain things are wrong. So like pressurizing a woman, that's wrong. You and I might agree, or I think agree with that. But I don't think getting a nutrition from others from any source should be anything different. Plus,
So is it okay to get nutrition from a human being?
no, that's not.
Why?
Because I think human's life is way more important than an animal's life. And it's because it can be
And-
completely selfish. A selfish opinion, but I do believe that.
Like, you know, in our family, every time they cook, they do, and you don't have any other choice because you have to eat it. So, in the family, like,
I get your point, and it's not like I'm a saint here who has. Yeah, I was a non-vegetarian once from a Bengali family, right? So I understand the family pressure that you are referring to, right? But when I realized that it's wrong, and more importantly, when I started thinking from the victim's perspective, everything else started getting aligned accordingly.
It's just, I would like to say it, sort of say it as that it is a body's requirement that you eat some proteins or meat and food like that. But I am against making cosmetics, against the cosmetic companies who are trying to really use lab animals to do this kind of thing. The experiments and things like that. Right? Similar with leather bags and all. So it's not really necessary to kill a crocodile and take the skin from it. But for a survival purpose and for your body, the nutrition that is required for the body, it is necessary for you to eat eggs or milk or something like that. So that purpose it is fine.
We are not eating animals for our survival. Yes, we are eating out of habit, culture, convenience, but not because of our survival. Because we can survive on a non-animal derived product.
Then, okay, if you're tilling a land, how many insects are being plowed away? They die. So how do you come up with that? Animals die, people die, things die. That's the natural process. We are all going to die.
That's also a very good point, that if we are grazing a land, then also
So insects are going to
insects
die
are.
as well.
The difference between that action and us killing a chicken, there's a one stark difference between the two. In that, the death is unintentional. Killing a chicken, it's an intentional death. It's like I'm riding a car and I kill someone by accident. That's one thing. But if I'm riding a car and I'm tracking someone and then running over them, that's murder. That's the difference between accident and...
That's why I'm fine with this form of murder.
But majority of the vegan documentary that you see in India is far from reality on ground here in India than compared to that of, in the Europe.
Like, what is the difference on which documentary you are referring to, if I may ask?
Cow farms and all this thing. Majority of Indian farmers do take care of their cows and cattle very dearly.
that to India, to be vegan, it's very difficult because we are known to eat this dairy products, like milk products, a lot, like paneer.
I'm not contesting. Of course, it's difficult because we have been habituated in a certain way. My question to you is, what is more difficult for us to change our habit, which they say takes around 21 days?
The choice actually. If I choose to do it, it's not. I mean, I would might not do it. Yeah.
It's possible, right? If you decide to.
But if you try to.
If you try to.
Yeah, but it's just that we ignore the fact that we have to try.
Thank you so much for using that word, ignore, right? That is, we are doing it out of ignorance, right? But in your case, you're not doing it out of ignorance because you already know, right? Ignorance is a bliss, is not applicable to you both because you already know about. Dairy animals are also harmed. Are you aware of it? No, right? So I'll take this opportunity to just to explain you a little bit about how the dairy industry works. First and foremost, and before that, a very simple question: when do you think a mammal gives milk?
Again, gives birth
When it gives birth, and who is that milk for?
for the young one.
Yeah, for the young one, right? They are also giving milk only after they have given birth to their offspring, right? Which is for their offspring. Yeah. And that is the first layer of cruelty, if you really think about it. We are stealing milk from another mother, from another species. That's one thing. Secondly, when is the first time they are subjected to pregnancy? At the age of 1.5, 2 years, right? That is around the time when they hit puberty, right? and then they are subjected to constant cycles of pregnancy. Do you agree that subjected to constant cycles of pregnancy is a pain, right?
Yes, it will harm them.
It will harm them.
In physical or in mentally also.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for saying that. It's very mature of you to say that not only physical harm but also mental harm. Second thing is how that pregnancy is done, right? Because for a dairy farmer, if they take the cow or the buffalo to a bull for a normal mating, it is a tedious task. So nowadays, the process that is used, you can Google it as well, and it's applicable in India. It's called artificial insemination, which means that it's not a natural mating process with the bull. Rather, the semen of the bull is collected and then inserted inside the private parts of the cow or the buffalo.
Are you trying to tell me even in India, farmers don't take care of their cattle?
Yeah, that's the reality.
Then you're wrong, sir.
So let's have a discussion on
I
it.
have had a very good experience.
In my opinion, for the lack of better word, I would say it's only, right? Because you are inserting your hands inside someone's private part. I mean, you can Google this as well. The pictures are disturbing, but that is the reality. In fact, there is an Indian documentary called Unholy Cattle of India on YouTube. What if the baby is a male calf? Any guess?
I mean, it's like you'll grow up and you'll get discarded, as you said.
Maybe meat.
I had cattle in my own backyard in my
Let's talk about your cattle.
in my village, and we had those cows very much inside the house. We gave them vegetables.
How many cows you had, if I may ask?
I had 2 female and 1 male. And I also had.
You had means now they are left off.
We don't live in a city anymore. I mean, we don't live in a village anymore. My grandparents passed away.
And how many pregnancy cycles did that cow go through?
Well, we had them until for at least until my grandparents were alive.
I'm not asking about your grandparent, or I'm asking about the
I
life
know
cycle
how
of the
they
cow.
took care of it. I'm not a farmer. I said I come from a farmer's family. I'm not a farmer.
So they go to beef industry and leather industry. Even for cows, depending on which state are we in, they are also sent to either of these industry, or they are sent to a gaushala if that state has certain provision and people can take care of them. Otherwise, they are left on streets.
I just know they were left on streets.
And you can also check, like, because in India, not everyone consumes beef, right? So, but everyone is drinking milk. And you can reconcile the fact by checking that India happens to be one of the largest beef and leather exporters in the world.
I didn't know that.
Thing saying that cattle not being taken care by farmers in India is a bogus. It's a very good funded mechanism to tell Indians that we don't take care of our cattle in our own backyard.
Why do you think India is one of the largest beef and leather exporters in the world?
See, those things are economical also. Everything has a circle, and for a reason. As long as you're not spiritual, you will not understand this. I'm a very spiritual person and I know how it works.
Aren't the government aware of all these that's happening?
They are. If you read the animal husbandry report, they have talked about how many dairy farm animals are there.
Okay. So they must be making some measures for this, right? Like,
Okay, so let's think about this. Why aren't they making any measures for hens or chickens?
yeah, because they get money from that,
So same, right? It's a business only, right? Export. It's being exported. It's not exported for free, right?
This form of murder is acceptable for me because I think it gives me nutrition and I think it's really tasty for me.
But yeah, so taste is one aspect. Nutrition, because people are getting nutrition from a plant-based source as well, right?
So we can also argue like that, isn't a plant's life more valuable than an animal's life?
Yeah, so that's a good point. The issue with that point is that plants do not have sentience. Sentience means kind of subjective awareness. That is, they do not have a central nervous system, which means that they do not have the capability to feel pain and suffering, which is a scientifically proven thing.
So you say basically saying that CNS is really important for you to actually sensitize with that animal.
CNS is just a tool, but the more important point is that...
So that's where you draw the line. I say I'd draw the line at not human. At not being human. It's like we drawing the lines at different points. It's like you are what chicken is to me is plant is to you.
No, it's not. Chicken is capable of feeling pain and suffering. The plant is not capable of feeling pain and suffering.
I don't agree with, like, yeah, that's true.
It's a fact,
it's
right?
A fact. I agree with you, but I still don't consider that to be a valid reason.
If you try to hit me, I'll try to resist that. If you try to hit a dog, the dog will try to resist that. Same is true for all animals, right? And we all have the right to natural life, right? Just because we are stronger and smarter than them, that's why we are doing it, right?
I tried not to eat, like, but not happening because it's.
We're very selfish in this. So.
Yeah, but then that, again, it comes down to what's more important, right? Our taste buds or our 15 minutes of taste pleasure, is that more important than the whole life and the cruelty that's the animal is subjected to, right?
Yeah, and now I feel we are very cruel because it's contradicting to our first statement. But
And that is the objective. It's not like I'm asking you questions and you have to give the right answer. The objective here is to raise this awareness and to make people think in this direction. And I get it that sometimes it's hard for us because we have been nurtured in that way. But then it comes back to my earlier question. Whenever we think from the victim's perspective, then it becomes very easy, right? 10 minutes of food pleasure is nothing compared to the whole life of the animal who has to suffer because of me directly, right?
I agree. I don't have much to say.
But I am comparing the oppressor mindset. The person who is oppressing the women is doing so because he or she believes that they are stronger than the concerned women. Yeah. I'm saying why we are consuming chickens is because we think we are more organized, smarter, stronger than them.
Yes,
and we are
because we are.
But
we are more organized.
But technically, even a man, just by the distribution of certain hormones, we are physically stronger.
Men are stronger than women,
and this is the rationale which has been used to propagate patriarchy for such a long time.
I'm not gonna say that, anyways. But yeah, I don't really agree with that comparison. I don't think that's a valid comparison.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because what you're talking about is a pain on a human being, and I think a human being's life is way more important than an animal.
I am not disagreeing to that. I think even between two human beings, if there is one.
If you would also agree with that, if the pain suffered by one human is way more important than a pain suffered by another animal. I'm sorry, I'm getting a call. I think my cab has come. I'm really sorry.
Okay. We could have had that discussion if you would have known about the dairy animals in your farm. But right now, it's like you do not have that full knowledge and you can challenge me, I can challenge you.
My knowledge is very much mine.
Okay, fine. But thank you so much for your time. You have made my day. So I'm a vegan and this discussion is spreading awareness on animal cruelty. You already know about it and you already decided to go vegan. But you said it's difficult to be a vegan, and that's where I'll make your day, because we have so many vegans in Bangalore and we have a very strong vegan community. In fact, you see people on the other side of the street, they are also vegan and we all come here raising awareness. So since you already want to go vegan, I'm so glad to listen to that. I'll just add you to one of the transitioning vegan WhatsApp groups based out of Bangalore. You said you want to stop animal cruelty or you're against animal cruelty, then logically you should also be a vegan.
Yes, I will. Yes.